Okay, good morning. This is Americ'as Teacher for Monday. I think it's November 18th, 2019. Sorry, it's been a while. Been a little bit crazy, and I apologize, but I'm going to just keep going right here. Okay, we've been walking through the Declaration of Independence. I guess I should make a note that it's just been kind of crazy out here in California with my son and the DMV and trying to get his license and get him to school. And so our schedule's been to where it's been difficult for me to make these. But if you're watching them, I'm going to keep going. I'm excited to get going again. He's got his license now, so I don't have to take him everywhere. So anyway. So we were going through the he hases, and the point is, in all these documents, just like the Constitution and Declaration, there's kind of an introduction, the body, and then the conclusions, okay? So there's an introduction to the Constitution, there's the body, and then there's amendments. We'll go through that next. But right now we're going through the Declaration. Well, I say that. I'd really like to go through the Magna Carta and the English Bill of Rights, but here we go. I think this is either video 9 or 10 on the Declaration, and I'm going to continue on as he hases. Oh, I guess I need to grab this cup of coffee or that's going to keep beeping and beeping. But I think I left off at he has dissolved representative houses repeatedly. So, hold on just a second. I really can't go without my coffee, first of all. Sorry. I apologize. And hey, it's not just the caffeine. I drink decaf too. But it's also, I don't know, I forget what I was going to say. Sorry about that. Oh, I was going to just talk about these videos being sort of raw, and we live in a day and an age where you gotta edit everything, and I was in radio and broadcasting, and I get that, but I kind of figure I like a homespun style. Sorry, like itching my ear, never touch your face, all this stuff. Well, if you want that, you can go over the networks. And as far as I'm concerned, they spout out all their stuff, and that's part of our problem. We're living in an age of glamour. So, to be honest with you, I do this sort of on purpose because I want this thing to be as natural as possible. I'd love it if you could call in. I hope I get that capability sometime. If you can ask questions. I used to tell my students, you're the teachers in a sense. You're your own teacher. You make the class in the sense that I will help you. But, I think our schools were set up by the teacher's the master and they know everything. Kind of like if we were taking a class from God. And that's not quite the way it is. I'm another fallible human. I'm just trying to present an idea and get you thinking. There's other great sources. You're a great source. And the great thing about government and economics, especially government, is you have an opinion, you have a voice because you're a voter, and the founders set it up that way. There's some incredible quotes about that. And I'll try and get those up on my website. That's why I put those quotes, because Jefferson was saying, if we don't trust the people, then let's inform them, and that's where the whole idea of education and everything. Anyway, I digress. But I deserve it this time because I've been gone on a little bit of a hiatus, so I'm back. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness invasions on the right of the people. Well, look, a common theme you see here is representative government. What's the point? There's either governments that are top down, right? Hitler for using Stalin, you will. One person, right? Arbitrary and capricious. What do we mean by that? I'm Stalin, I wake up today and I don't like blondes, or I don't like redheads. Let's go out into the square and have them all shot, They were arbitrary and capricious. That's the whole idea of the rule of law, that we're a nation of laws. So what the King of England was doing to them, oh, you're making me mad? I'm getting rid of your representative houses. Well, I kind of missed my own point there. Let me back up. So when you have a dictator, they're arbitrary and capricious, and whatever they do today, you never know what the law is. The law is don't piss them off. That's the law. That's what's going on in most of the countries around the world. Our law, what's cool is the rules stay constant. If we want to change them, it takes a constitutional amendment, which is very difficult to do. So we don't change our... Jefferson talks about this, not to be changed for light and transient reasons, because his point is, he's saying, when we get the law, not just him, but Hamilton and John Jay, well, and all of them, okay? He's saying that, come on, we had to think out our rules, and then they had to be really good rules. So don't pass a rule until you've really thought it out. That's one of the problems with our legislatures now, right? They're passing a lot of light and transient stupid stuff. So what they're doing is bringing the law down because we don't have as much respect for the law. So I'm digressing here, but the point's important. Why are the legislative bodies so important to them? Because you send a rep, okay, each region, state, district, county, it doesn't matter. However you divide it. So if this is the map, and you divide it up, and each of those places sends a rep in, the idea is that those reps are supposed to get in conference and make some great rules. And then they go back home to their districts, tell us about it, and then we all live with it. That's where the law is, and we've lost sight of that. So his dissolved representative houses means the king just repeatedly kept, oh, I don't like you guys. You don't get to make your rules anymore. Oh, I like you guys today. Oh, I feel good. I woke up on the right side of the bed. Oh, Virginia, House of Commons, you can have it again. Today, no. Tomorrow, yes. No, yes. No, yes. Arbitrary and capricious. And guys, if you can get this down more than anything in these studies, that's what's wrong with our government now. And we think it's cool. Now we're getting a group of people who think, well, he's famous. He's good looking. Not to pick on Kanye, because I like him, but Kanye's cool, so whatever he says, this guy's a famous athlete, so whatever he says. We're losing the concept of the rule of law. Sorry, I digress upon digression. Sorry, I'm excited because I'm back. So, for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. We opposed him and stood up to him. We weren't all lied, and yes, sir, and gee, Mr. King, we're sorry. But no, we got firm and said, no, we're not doing that. He didn't like that, disband our house. Really, the king was the immature one, throwing his little tantrums, right? He has refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected. Okay, once I take your representative house away from you, I'll stall in the elections, I'll wreck the elections. Sound familiar? We'll hide the ballot boxes. I'll post troops at strange locations, make it difficult for them to cast ballots. Sound familiar? Whereby the legislative powers incapable of annihilation have returned to the people at large for their exercise, then the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without, and convulsions from within. I'll disband your houses, and then something serious could happen. We could be invaded by the French, or they were warring with different Indian tribes and factions, so they had wars going on, and yet they weren't able to make decisions or respond, and so they're left out there, hey, we got to make a decision. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing naturalization. Somebody comes here, How do we make them a citizen? How do we make them a voter? Do they get to vote? We're trying to make up some rules. They pour into our colony. Sound familiar? Pour into our state. Pour into our country. See, this stuff isn't old. Dictator, the devil's been up to his tricks for a long time. And don't get me off on that one. And raising the conditions of new appropriation of lands. What happens when we want to expand our borders? Let's say our colony is this big, and now we want to go to the Appalachians and add a little land. How do we do that? He blocks everything we try to do. So now these people want to be represented and have a say-so. In other words, it's just creating chaos, and we can't get anything done. He has obstructed the administrative justice by refusing his assent to the laws of establishing judicial power. We set up courts and judges, and he undermines them and their decisions. So why should anybody obey our laws? Because sound familiar? We go arrest somebody, we put them in jail, we read them their rights, we do everything right, we give them an attorney, we give them representation. They're let back out on the street. So we have a tyranny maybe going on now, but it's not a king. We'll get into that later, right? What is it? He has made judges dependent on his will. So when a judge has a hearing and they want to solve a dispute, let's say two businesses are in a dispute. This tea group against that tea group, right? The Boston Tea Party. Two shipping companies are arguing. The judge makes an impartial decision. The king comes along, you better make the right decision. For his will for the tenure of their offices, I guess this guy disappeared. He's no longer a judge. Why is that? He made a decision that went against the king's will. And the amount of payment of their salaries, he takes away their money or what we pay them. He's erected a multitude of new offices. He's made a bunch of new departments. Sound familiar? New offices, new governments, new authorities we have to answer to, more permits, more taxes to pay. He has erected a multitude of new offices. And for a long time, I've said that if we pass a law, we ought to have to get rid of a law. And people would say I'm nuts, and that sounds crazy, but think about it. If the books are just getting fuller and fuller and fuller of laws, pretty soon laws are contradicting each other. So nobody knows what law. I was talking to my niece recently, and they're lawyers and they're law enforcement stuff, and it's complicated, and they didn't even know they were stepping it with me, and they were, and they're great, and I love them, but we all have to have perspective. So this is kind of my area, and they're in that, and they understand, and they get it, but yeah, that's bad if it's complicated, because the rule of law dies because nobody knows what the rules are, because they're shooting all over. That's right. What's wrong with the proposition process, and we're passing laws that don't, So the whole thing can break down is the point, and no longer are our most precious rights defended because the thing does get too complicated. Nobody understands it, so nobody knows what to do, so nobody even knows what's legal or illegal. Swamps of offices to harass the people and eat out their substance. Eat out their government officials taking all their food. He is kept among us in times of peace. You see what I mean? They're saying, that's pretty funny. They're saying they had to pay them and compensate them at their expense, and they're not getting anything done. Sound familiar? We get bigger and bigger governments. Their unions pass bigger and bigger salaries. We pay for this stuff, and yet they're not getting anything done. Sounds like our streets right now in California. Our potholes aren't getting fixed. Where's the money? We got all these offices, all these government officials, all these people with government jobs, all these people with government retirements, but they can't fix a pothole. So I tell you something? Sorry, losing my air there. In times of peace, standing armies without the consent of our legislature. You want an army in your neighborhood? Most people don't get this. We all love the Army, and we're taught to love them and be patriotic, and that's wonderful. But what if they were posted on your street, and these guys got bored and were sitting around and needed something to eat, etc., etc., etc.? Wouldn't come in your house with their muddy boots and put their feet up and watch your TV without your permission. Get it? He is affected to render the military independent and superior to the civil authority. See, that's a big concept in our society. That's why we put the president commander-in-chief. Here's Trump, a non-military guy, and he's over Obama, non-military guy, over the military. Why? So that the generals don't just run roughshod over us and begin to become a law unto themselves and not have to be answerable to our legislative bodies. Okay, that's it for today. Good job. Thank you. I'm America's Teacher. Look me up on YouTube or go to my website at mkcnolan.com. Thank you.